Hello guys, this is Elias with Soulfly, and in this video we are going to export Meta Box custom fields to Google Drive using WP All Export. Now guys, in today's video we have this restaurants post type, so let me open that for you. And let's just open this one. And we have a great variety of fields here to be exported using WP Export. So we have a bunch of simple text fields. Then here we have a couple of time pickers. This one is a date picker. This one is a radio, checkbox, select fields. These 3-4 are simple text. This one is another radio. And then here in the media tab, we have an image advanced field. And finally, here in reviews, we have a clonable group. Now, this clonable group is very similar to a repeater if you're coming from Jet Engine or ACF. It works very similarly, right? So you can clone this group, and all of these 3 fields are gonna be, well, cloned, right? So yeah, this is what we have here. And so let's just select the post type, which is right here. And WP Export will try and pull all of the restaurants that it finds in the database. So if we go here to all restaurants, you can see that this number is correct. So say maybe you don't want to export all 1200 restaurants, right? Because I don't know guys, maybe you only need the restaurants that are, I don't know, in the state of New York, or maybe you only need the restaurants that has the best ratings, right? Well, you can do that with the filtering options, right? So let's just select, I don't know, say the rating element. Here it is. And for the rule, I'm gonna say equal or greater than. I'm gonna type in 4. It's good. Add this rule, and boom, we no longer have 1200 restaurants. Now we have 606. So these 606 restaurants are those restaurants that have ratings of 4 and above, right? So that's pretty cool. And so now that we have the data we actually want to export, we need to decide whether we want to just migrate these restaurants, which means export all of the data in that post type without changing a thing, right? And then you can maybe import all of that data using WP import, right? So that's pretty cool. But if you wanted to move around some things, maybe change the order of some columns or run a couple of PHP functions and whatnot, you can just click here on this button that says customize export file. So let's do that. All right. And here we have these 3 fields just out of the box, and all of these elements are columns in our export file. So let's hit preview, and there you go, ID, title, and content. All right. So if you wanted to maybe remove some of these columns, you can just click on it and drag it off the box, and it will disappear. It's good. Now guys, the MetaBox custom fields are here in the MetaBox section, so let's open that and zoom in real quick just so you can see something very interesting. Now you will notice that this first element has black letters and the other ones have green letters, right? So the reason for that is because this restaurant's info is the field group. So if maybe you add this map address here, right, and preview, you can see that only the map address shows up here. But if you wanted to add all of these fields, you can just drag and drop the whole group, and boom, that's it. That's a lot faster, and it can save you a lot of time in some exports where you have multiple, like a lot of fields, right? So that's cool. Let's preview. And there you go. You can see that all of this data is showing up as just text. Even the opening and closing times, and also the OpenSyncs field, which are time and date pickers, right? Right here, right? Same with the rating. You can see that we have here some stars, but the actual value is 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So you can set that up in MetaBox. Now just check out the MetaBox documentation, and you should be good. Same here for the cuisine. This is checkbox, so you can select multiple values. And all of this is gonna be shown here in just text, right? So yeah, that's it. We can just go ahead and export this just as it is. But if you, I don't know, say you want to change some stuff here, say you want to change the title and you want this to be called name, right? Because this is a restaurant, so restaurant's name. Save, preview, and there you go. That easy. Now this content is going to be called description, so let's change that. Preview, and that's it. All right, guys, very simple. Now, say you want to change the opening and closing time format and maybe the open scenes too, because I don't know, maybe you want something more friendly, more readable, I don't know. So let's do it. And depending on the field you click on, some options may be different. Because, for example, say this street, you click on it and there's not much going on here. You can just click here to enable the PHP function editor, right? And call a function on this field. But we're not gonna do that for this field. We are gonna do that, but for maybe the gallery or something like that. So let's go back here and open the opening time. And as you can see here, we have another feature that we don't have in the simple text fields. Now that feature is the ability to change the date format. Well, the date and time format actually. So this is a time field. So the time I want to set up here, and you need to do this with PHP values. So if you want to know more about that, you can just Google PHP date formats and pretty much click on the first link, and you will find there the right syntax for this. For now, I'm just gonna type in here G and A and save, preview again, and here it is. Right, we have changed the date format for the opening time. Now you can see that the closing time is as it is by default, so let's change that. And here it is. I'm gonna type in G and A again, save, preview again, and there you go. Right, pretty easy. Now let's change the open scenes, and this is a date field, so you can use natural language PHP or Unix, that's up to you. And for this, I'm just gonna type in D, comma, J, F, J, and Y. It's good. Save, preview, and here it is. Right, pretty cool. Now, you can do this with PHP too, but it's really not necessary because you can also do it with WPL export's built-in functionalities. So, say for example, let me show you guys right here. This rating element, you can you don't want this to be just 5, right? You want this to be 5 stars. So again, let's click on the rating element, and you can use a quick PHP function. But in this example, if you just want to add some static data to a certain field, it's probably easier to build a custom export field. So I'm gonna call this rating, right? And I'm gonna drag and drop my rating here, and I'm gonna type in stars, right? Save, preview, and there you go. Right, guys, pretty cool. Now this is very useful again for when you need to combine multiple fields also. So let's do it for an address. I'm gonna call this just test address, right? And I'm gonna drag and drop here. No, I'm actually gonna type in here address, right? So this is gonna be my static data, and I'm gonna just drag and drop the street, then a comma, then I don't know, say city, comma, and I don't know, country. Yeah, let's just leave it like that. It's good. Save, and here it is, right? Address 345 Park Avenue, New York, US. Right, guys, so you can build custom fields using multiple values and even some static data, run a quick PHP function there. You can do a lot of stuff inside that field. Now you can just drag this and use it here, for example. And as you can see, the position of that field has changed. That's cool. But if you don't want that, just drag it out, and that's it. Cool, guys. Now let's just find our gallery, which is here. Let me preview so you can see how this looks currently. And this gallery has multiple URLs, right? So yeah, here is the first one, and it's separated with a pipe, and here is the second one, and it's separating with a pipe too. So let's just open one of those, and as you can see, the image shows up here, so that's working good. And let's click on that. And as I said before, you will find some options that can be different depending on the field you open. And for the galleries, you can see this value format, and you can export this as media URL, media ID, or file name. So if you choose file name, save, preview again, here it is, right? We no longer have URLs, but we have the file names. Here's the first one, and here is the second one, and so on and so forth. Right, now let's go back to gallery. Let's select media URL again, and I'm gonna change how these URLs are separating, because by default they are separated with pipes, but I want to separate those values with commas, right? So let's just use the function editor, and I have a function ready here, so I'm just gonna paste that in, and this function will use str replace to change our pipes, right, with a comma and a space. So let's save our function, copy its name, and we're going to enable this option right here that says export the value returned by a PHP function, and we're going to paste the name here. And what this is going to do is call this function, which is this one, on this value, and this value is this field, right? So let's save it, preview again, and here it is. All right, guys. Now, as you can see, we no longer have the pipes. Now we have a comma and a space. And you can use PHP to alter any sort of stuff here in your export file. And you can even connect to external services and pull some data from there and insert that to your file and do, I don't know, some crazy stuff here. It kind of depends on what you want to do, guys. But generally speaking, you have a lot of flexibility to use PHP and just go nuts there. For now, guys, I believe we have covered plenty here, so let's just continue. If you're exporting CSV, you can change the separator or decide not to include the header and row columns titles in the export. That's up to you again. And you can decide which export type, which file type actually you want to have once you export this, right? You can export this in a CSV, or maybe use Excel or XML. And if you preview in simple XML, you will find the same data structure here with the same column names and whatnot, the same functions, the same everything you have here in the export template, but just in XML format, right? Now, if you want to maybe use a somewhat crazier or more complex, or I don't know, custom XML format, you can just select custom XML, and guys, just go nuts there, build your crazy stuff in XML, and it will be exported that way, right? Now I'm gonna just roll with CSV. That's good for me in this example, so I'm gonna click continue, and right here we have some advanced options for exports. The first ones are the scheduling options, and guys, this is pretty cool for when you need to automate your exports and maybe have them run at a certain schedule, right? So maybe you need to export this daily because maybe you want the best restaurants in town delivered to you just daily. Just explore these options. You have two of them. The first one is the automatic scheduling, and this is pretty cool because it will allow you to set up all of this right here in the WordPress UI. So if you want this Monday through Friday, just enable those days, right? And select a time or maybe multiple times, right? You can select as many as you want. Pretty cool, right? Now, guys, this is a paid service. It costs $9 a month, but there is no need to subscribe to this if you don't want to. You can use cron jobs, and cron jobs are free. They're just a little bit more technical, but not to worry. We have great documentation here on how to set that up. And if you're feeling a little bit stuck or whatever, you can just contact our support team, and we will be more than happy to help you out. For now, though, we don't need this. I'm going to choose Do Not Schedule and close this up. These other options are pretty much self-explanatory, so if you read them, you will know what they do, right? So, I don't know, guys, say you only want to export each restaurant in real time as they are created. Just enable that option, and every time you create a new restaurant in your WordPress site, this export is gonna run. So that's again self-explanatory. So if that's what you want, just enable that and boom. If you want to know more about how that works, we have great documentation and great videos in our YouTube channel. For now, I believe we have everything we need with the default settings, so let's just confirm and run this export. Now this is going to take a few seconds, so I'm just going to let it run and come back when it's ready. Alright guys, so our export is complete. We can download our CSV here. Alright, very cool. We can download the bundle, and the bundle is, well, basically the same CSV file, but wrap it up in a zip file with a bunch of settings for it to be used to import this with WP import. Now you can generate a secure URL and you can share this with anyone, and it will download the latest export file. And we have here the scheduling settings again, in case you want to revisit that. And we have the external apps tab. Now this external apps tab is basically Zapier, and we have a video on how to connect that here. But since we're going to do it anyways in this video, let's just jump into Zapier. And guys, you will need a free account here, so just create one real quick, and you will find this screen. Now once you're here, hit create, Zaps, and the first thing you're going to need is a trigger, so let's click on that. Now our trigger, it's going to be what's going to fire this automation, right? What's going to start this whole process. So what we're going to use here is WP export, which is here, but you can look for it here just typing in WP all export, right? And we need to choose an event. Our event is going to be new export file. Click continue, and we need to connect Zapier with WP export. So let's click sign in. This window will pop out, and you will need an API key and the website URL. So let's find those settings. And here is our Zapier integration API key. So let's copy that and paste that here. And then I'm gonna look for the website URL, which is even easier. And all right. Now let's go back to Zapier, and this will reload any second now. And there it is. Let's click continue and test our trigger. Now once you do that, Zapier is going to try and pull some data from WP export. You can see here the website URL, the export ID, the export name, and some other data. So this is looking good. So I'm going to continue with this record. And then we need an action. Now the action, it's what happens after the Zap is started, right? So what we're going to choose here is Google Drive, because remember, we're exporting Metabox custom fields to Google Drive. So for the event, I'm going to choose upload file, continue, and we need to sign in here, and that's even simpler. Just log in with Google, allow the connection, and that's it, right? Continue. Here for the action, we need the Google Drive. We need to select the Google Drive. So I'm going to choose my Google Drive. For the folder, it kind of depends if you have a custom folder where you want to send your file to. In my case, I'm going to choose WP export metabox. For the file here, this is what's coming from WP export, and this is the file that's going to contain all of our metabox fields we want to upload to Google Drive. So I'm going to choose export file, right? Convert to document, I'm going to say true, and then file name, I'm going to just use the export name. It's good. All right. Then for the file extension, I'm going to choose file type, right? That's it. Just click continue. And once I click here on test step, I'm going to wait for our file here, because Zapier is going to try and get that file from WP export and upload it here. So let's do it. Test step and give it a few seconds while it runs. All right, so green check mark here, so that means that this should have worked, and there you go. So let's open that, and as you can see, we have here our file. So it's pretty cool. You can see we have here the rating as we set it up. The opening and closing times are looking good. The open seams too. Here we have the name and description column names we change. So that's looking good. Now let's close this up. I'll give this Zap a name, so I'm gonna call this Meta Box Export, right? And publish it, so it's live. Alright, so I'm gonna go back here to Google Drive and I'm gonna move this to trash because this is the test file, right? So I'm gonna go back to WPL export and I'm gonna run my export again. From run, and again, this is gonna take a few seconds, so I'm just gonna pause the video here and come back when it's ready. Alright guys, our export is complete, so let's go here to Google Drive and wait for our file, which should be coming here just shortly. And there it is. Now let's open that, and as you can see, we have the same data, so all of this is looking real nice. So there you have it, guys. Alright, so that's it. That's how you export Meta Box custom fields to Google Drive using Zapier and of course WP All Export. Now guys, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to know more about how to import or export other kinds of data to and from WordPress, you can just check out the other videos in our channel or check out our website at wplimport.com. For now, thank you for watching and see you next time.